The British high street is having a tough time. Shoppers are hardly flush with cash. The economy has picked up with year-on-year growth of 3%, but this has not been reflected in earnings growth.
I'm on Oxford Street in the heart of London's shopping district. The Christmas sales are well underway, with 40 million shoppers expected over a 6-week period. But after a miserable autumn for retailers in which warm weather prevented people from going out to buy coats and scarves, the retailers have decided to kick-start the Christmas period by offering discounts and sales at the end of November, borrowing from a US tradition, so-called Black Friday. But has this really worked? Is it at the expense of retailers' margins? And does the consumer really benefit?
As far as retail is concerned, and the need to make an acceptable return on investment, it's a disaster, because you're going to end up selling pretty much the same amount of product at a lower price. And it's not just the cost of lowering that price, it's the logistical costs. It represents a higher cost of sales.
Black Friday was a risky decision, and some prominent retailers decided against it. They're banking on better consumer confidence to produce higher Christmas sales.
We didn't participate in Black Friday. Our sale will be Boxing Day, the same as last year, so certainly we're confident that the build-up that we're seeing coming through to Christmas this year will then peak with our Boxing Day sale. I think generally the domestic customer is feeling more confident this year than last year. But I also think what the retailers need to demonstrate coming through into this year is something different. I think every year we've got to work harder. It's not just about discounts, as we said earlier. We've got to work harder to really deliver those experiences and deliver some amazing products for those customers at Christmas.
So far, the discounts over the Black Friday weekend seem to have worked. Retail sales were up more than 4% in November, according to the British Retail Consortium. That's an improvement on the nearly 3% average for the first 10 months of the year. It's not all about price, though. For manufacturers like Lego, which relies heavily on Christmas, advertising and innovation are also important.
Well, we definitely expect for Christmas this year that our sales will be higher than last year, but it's too early to say by how much. General sales of toys are not that strongly correlated to the macroeconomic environment, in particular Lego sales. I wouldn't say we're counter-cyclical at all, but we just don't really relate on the short term to fluctuation in macroeconomics. It's more about how exciting is the Lego product, and right now the Lego brand is at an all-time high, also with the launch this year of the Lego movie, which has been one of the most seen movies this year. So I think despite challenges in the macroeconomic environment, Lego is set for a very good year.
Nevertheless, we won't know until the end of the year whether the November discounts simply made people shop earlier than usual rather than boost sales overall, as Mr. Hyman believes.
Black Friday has cannibalised sales, it's reduced margins, and probably most importantly for the longer term, it has alienated consumers, because it robs them of that trust. This is a time when retailers should be sticking to their original prices. They should be selling at full price. This is a time when demand is at its peak, and to be seduced into a short-term sales gain in exchange for a drop in their margin represents a very bad deal.
In the US, sales actually fell this Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, because once you give customers discounts, they expect more of them closer to Christmas. So can the same thing happen over here in the UK? Well, we've seen retailers like Selfridges and manufacturers like Lego expect a good Christmas this year compared to last year. But what about next year? Well, I think there's one safe bet, and that's that the debate about whether it's worth risking profit margins and customer loyalty for a short-term boost to sales will still be raging. Scheherazade Daneshku, Financial Times, London.